People. Que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Now the first thing that is popping in the news is the hottest topic in the news, social media, in a real life. I am speaking about that witness, one of the main witnesses in the Blackman, one other Klansman case that is going on. And people, based on information, it is said that this man has been dropping some bombs. This man has been dropping some B-O-M-B shell in the court. And a couple of the things that he said that Mr. Blackman had some sort of cult affiliation. At one time, Blackman ordered some people to dig up a B-O-D-Y so that he could drink from the skull. We are speaking about drink, B-L-O-O-D, from the skull of that body. Cannot verify, cannot validate that. This man also spoke about the takeaway of Mr. Douglas Chambers, chairman, JUTC. Mr. Chambers was taken out 2008, I think. Blackman, he was tried 2016. He was found not guilty because the main witness, the key witness, was not there. However, this witness in the latest case the other day, he said that Blackman showed him the tool that he used, and he told him that he put 2 pieces in Mr. Chambers' head. Don't know if the Popcaan can verify. The truth and the facts is that Mr. Chambers was taken out for sure and Blackman was tried. However, Blackman was not convicted. He also linked and said that the female in the gang would usually go to meetings held by the PNP, People's National Party, and they would bring the tools back and forth. He made some very serious allegations, and he seems like a credible witness. As to if he is telling the truth, that is something else for the court, meaning the prosecution to prove and the defense lawyer to disprove or to put holes in his case. Now people, yesterday in courts, he spoke about 2 persons, 2 dancehall artists to be specific. He spoke about Ioctane, and what he said about Ioctane is that Ioctane would go to the studio that was owned by Blackman. Blackman would sometime bodyguard, chaperone Ioctane to the studios. People, that is nothing unusual. However, I am going to speak about what happens in dancehall, and I am going to speak about why this man was trying to prove that he knew Blackman, so therefore he was trying to show all of his affiliate, his association. Is that something criminal? Did Ioctane did something criminal? Not really. Because the truth and the fact is that at the time of which he was speaking, if you know dancehall, Ioctane was one of the hottest artists, or probably the artist at the time. So therefore, it is normal for hot artists to go to different studios because different studios had different producers with different rhythms, hot rhythms. So therefore, to remain relevant, the hot artists would usually go on the hot rhythms to make the rhythm even more hotter, more sellable, more marketable. So therefore, there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing criminal about that. Ioctane has never been charged. He has never been convicted. He has never been implicated in any sorts of criminal organization. And people, yes, it was proven because I listened to a song that Ioctane did, and it big up Jonestown and Blackman, Rete, Lele, Blue, Blah, Bling. However, people, the truth and the fact is that if you know anything about dancehall music, the more gangster credibility that you have is the more that you are accepted. So in other words, people, the fans, they are not accepting of uptown artists being dancehall artists. They want their artists to come from the street. So therefore, it is a symbiotic relationship, meaning that the artists would use the gangsters for clout, vice versa. The gangster would use the artists for big up them name because you know that they like the limelight, they like the spotlight. So therefore, that is as far as it goes. Nothing criminal about that. If there was anything criminal, then the relevant authority, meaning the JCF, their detective, DPP, prosecutor, they should file a case. So people, that is Ioctane. Now the big elephant in the room and what is buzzing all over social media is that this witness, one of the key witnesses in the case, he made some damning allegations about Vybz Kartel. One of the allegations is that Vybz Kartel called and he ordered the hits of 3 people. The man gave the location, he gave his details, his side of the story as to what happened. 2 persons were taken out a double in a Portmore. Cannot validate or verify, so therefore I don't know if it happened. The relevant authority, meaning the JCF, DPP, prosecution, they would have to, or would have done their due diligence to see whether this story is true or not. Is it fake? Is it fabricated story? Is it some sort of quack story, like the quack quack? So people, he spoke about 2 people. He spoke about the hit in Portmore, 2 people. And then he also mentioned that Vybz Kartel, one of those 3 persons, was a dancehall artist. He did not mention the dancehall artist. Why I would not understand, I could not understand. Because people, when we talk about a witness, we are speaking about a man that, let's talk about his character first. And it does not mean that he is not a credible witness because of his character. However, the truth and the fact is that this man said he was a Don for an era, don't know the era. However, he is flipping the lid. He is flipping the lid because he wants Jamaica to be a better place. However, when he had the opportunity to make Jamaica a better place, he chose the money, he chose crime, he chose the gangsterism, he chose affiliation with Blackman, one other, Klansman, whatever the case is. So people, the point that I am trying to make is this. He has a reason, he has a motive, he has what we call the motivational factor why he does what he did or he is doing what he is doing. He is trying to save himself, he is trying to save face. He wants to be on that witness protection plan, so therefore he can avoid going to jail, avoid jail time or a vast reduction on his jail time. So therefore he has ulterior motive why he does what he does. It is not because he's a good person. And people change. And like them say, whenever you deal with the devil, you can get F-U-C-K, meaning the prosecution. So anyways, him called up Ioctane and then he called up Vybz Kartel and he spoke about an artist, a big artist. However, he refused to call the artist's name. Now people, I want to ask, why didn't the prosecution make him elaborate further on that case? However, the case is still pending, so therefore maybe today we will see that, maybe not. Maybe we are moving to our next topic, our next issue as it pertains to the case. So therefore the prosecutor missed the opportunity to let him elaborate. And of course you know that he is going to be crossed by the defense lawyers, meaning Blackman lawyer, meaning the rest of people upon the case, to see whether his story is consistent or not. So people, I say this to say that we leave it up to time to see what he has to say. And just like in the case of Ioctane, he said what he had to say to prove that he knows Blackman, he knows his everyday living, he knows the people that he associates with. However, people, one thing that I find very inconsistent with what we call a talking parrot, meaning a witness that goes into courts and he wants to prove, he wants to be on the side of the law. He wants to be one of those good Jamaicans that is proving his civic duty. he goes on the stage, he goes on the witness stand, and he tries to make the case look stronger for the prosecution because he knows what is riding. He knows that if Blackman comes out, his life is going to be in sure jeopardy. His life is going to be in sure danger. So therefore, he is doing everything. Now, people, we have to ask the question. We live in an age of social media, in the era of, we are in an information age. Everything is on social media. So we have to ask the question, is this man listening to some sort of Kevin Smith blogger that tells a whole bunch of fabricated stories? Tell a whole bunch of quack stories, however, the true quack story has never been told. Is that what is going on here? Anybody else think deep? Anybody else have a brain? Anybody else is not brainwashed on social media? Or is it just me and people that I talk to, my subscribers? Because people, truth be told, everybody knows that social media, it is called over-sensationalization. It is called exaggeration. It is called drama, controversy, and drama sells. So therefore, I say this to say that, haven't we heard this story before? Has this story been validated? Has this story been verified? Is anybody out there responsible for what they are saying nowadays? Or people can just say just about anything? Nobody needs any sorts of proof. Nobody needs any sorts of evidence anymore. Everything is just hearsay, he say, she say, that say, this say. That is what is going on. So anyways, people, I say this to say that his story, it sounds as if this man is trying to impress so much. He has some truth, however, he has some half a truth. He has some make-up story, fabricated story. So therefore, at the end of the day, the question that we have to ask in all of this is that he made allegations against Vybz Kartel. Vybz Kartel have a lawyer. Vybz Kartel is presently incarcerated 35 years, 20 years or 25 years before he is eligible for parole or something, I don't even remember. However, the thing is that this man made some allegations and he spoke about a double and a possible next one that was a failed. So, may I said to myself, the last time that I checked, Jamaica has a statute of limitation, can never run out. It goes on forever and ever. So therefore, if you as a suspect live to be 1,000-year-old, 5 billion-year-old, you can still be charged as long as the court, the victim family want justice. They can get justice if there's evidence. So people, the question that I have to ask is this. Since this man made all these allegations in our justice system, is the relevant authority going to do their due diligence? Did they do their due diligence before this man came and testified? Because obviously we know that this man must have been interviewed by the prosecution. So therefore, all of this information that he is now telling them, it might be new to us. However, the prosecutor, DPP, she has heard this story before on several occasions, at least once. So people, may just say, until we see some sort of indictment, until we see some sort of charge, until we see some sort of trial, until we see some sort of conviction, it is just hearsay. However, people, as it pertains to social media, like me telling you before, we've seen people are brainwashed. People are brain DEAD. They will believe just about anything as it pertains to, if them believe in somebody, they believe everything that they say. Even when somebody else comes out, even when the person that they claim was a victim in this comes out and say, a lie I tell, they are still going to believe because they are on an agenda. They are on what we call the cult agenda. So therefore, if this man say so, are the gospel. If this man say so, are the gospel. So therefore, even when the prosecution and our system in Jamaica cannot prove or cannot or will not refuse to ignores him, people are still going to believe because, like me say, when you are brainwashed, when you are brain DEAD, you will believe just about anything. And people like them say, a fool is always the last to know. And we see, say, as it pertains to cult following, we've seen two of them. We see them in our real life. We are talking about Kevin Smith. And we see, as it pertains to Mr. Gray, the biggest one ever. The biggest con artist, point blank and period. So people, believe what you want to believe. Believe KILLS and it cures. And surely, some of you people are DEAD. So therefore, I guess it KILLED. Uno, point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.